66% of Americans have incomes that are not keeping pace with inflation and student loan non-payment. Today, I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Breck Dumas titled, "Two-thirds of middle-income Americans say they are falling behind due to cost of living, Primerica." The author of this article referenced Primerica's Financial Security Monitor survey for the second quarter of 2024, which polled more than 1,000 U.S. adults with incomes between $30,000 and $130,000. The survey revealed that 66% of respondents said their income was falling behind their cost of living, and 48% said they were cutting costs or quit saving altogether in order to make ends meet. Here are my thoughts. Please consider the fact that this is a survey, so the results may not be generalizable to the entire American population. With that said, the results are still interesting. If the results are in fact generalizable to the entire American population, this could be a problem. Think about it for a moment. If 66% of Americans have incomes that are falling behind their cost of living, this is not good news. While some may cut costs, others may try to maintain their standard of living by relying more heavily on credit. This may be good news for businesses in the short term because people will continue to spend with money that isn't theirs. However, I don't think this is good news in the long term. Some people may have a hard time paying back the debt, especially if our economy takes a turn for the worse and we start to see higher unemployment in the future. If you find yourself unemployed, debt is the last thing that you want to have. The fact that 48% of survey respondents said they were either cutting costs or quit saving altogether also concerns me. This means a high percentage of people have likely stopped contributing to retirement accounts. Some may be sacrificing their future financial security by living for today. I understand why people are doing this. Some may have to decide between making retirement contributions or paying their rent, or some may have to decide between making retirement contributions or making their car payment. Far too many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck these days. Some can't even do that. There are people who can only survive by relying on credit. I truly worry about the future here in America. Specifically, I am worried about all of the people right now who are not setting aside any money for later in life when they become too old to work. As humans, our bodies and minds start to deteriorate as we get older. For some, there may come a point where work is no longer possible. Without any savings, life may get very difficult, since Social Security was never designed to replace someone's pre-retirement income. Getting back to the article, the author referenced findings published by the National True Cost of Living Coalition, which revealed that 65% of Americans whose incomes are 200% above the national poverty line, which is about $62,300 for a family of four, said they are struggling financially. I can understand why they would be struggling financially, especially if they don't have a home that is paid off. Renting a home for a family of four is going to be expensive. Then there are utilities, renter's insurance, internet, groceries, medical costs, vehicle costs, cell phone costs, and everything else in life that costs money, such as clothing, shoes, school supplies for the kids. The list goes on and on. A family with one breadwinner earning $62,300 is going to have a hard time maxing out his or her 401k at $23,000 per year. And what about funding 529 plans for the children? That would also be difficult. It would have been interesting to know if the people surveyed are struggling financially because there isn't much money left after maxing out their 401k and after making 529 plan contributions, or if they aren't doing any of that and they are just struggling financially because life has gotten so expensive these days. If I were to guess, I'd say the latter. Some people put those kinds of things off until the future because they want to fund a vacation or get a new car. Things like that sound a lot more fun to do now. You only live once is what they say, and I understand that. But I'd rather have a comfortable retirement and know that I have financial options in the event I have to stop working due to unforeseen circumstances. I guess a lot of people will worry about the future when it arrives. To me, that is incredibly foolish. Some people are left with few options, if any, when they get older. Compound returns are often on your side when you start investing at a young age. Getting back to the article, the author referenced Fox Business calculations, which revealed the typical U.S. household needed to pay $227 more per month in March to purchase the same goods and services it did 1 year ago because of still high inflation. Americans are paying on average $784 more each month compared with the same time 2 years ago, and $1,069 more compared with 3 years ago. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is why many Americans are having a hard time financially. I worry that it isn't going to get any better. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Everything that I just talked about may be why so many student loan borrowers are not making payments. I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Eric Revelle titled, "American Student Loan Balance Tops $1.6 trillion. Nearly half of borrowers haven't resumed payments." As many of you know, student loan payments were on pause for approximately 3.5 years. Now that they have resumed, about 20 million borrowers have resumed making payments on their loans. However, roughly 19 million haven't done so. Here are my thoughts. I have to wonder if the roughly 19 million people who aren't paying are waiting to see if Biden forgives their loans. Right now, there is no penalty for not paying, other than interest accruing. This is because of Biden's on-ramp program. This expires at the end of September this year. After that, people can fall into delinquency and eventually default. People can also be reported to credit reporting agencies. After the election this year, I suspect we will start reading about the millions of people who are still not making their student loan payments. I understand why the government paused student loan payments after the pandemic. But why did they do it for 3.5 years? And why did they provide such a long grace period for non-payment? I just think some Americans grew far too comfortable not having to make this monthly payment. And now this is a shock to their system, especially during this period of high inflation when everything else in life is costing more. Some may simply not be able to afford these payments. For those who truly can't, there is Biden's SAVE plan, which may help reduce their payment amounts. Even with the SAVE plan, the balance owed does not go down. It is just the payment that is adjusted based on someone's family size and income level. Those factors could change in the future and your payment could go back up. It is going to be really interesting to see what happens with all of these student loans later this year. What do you think about this? Do you know people who aren't making their student loan payments right now? If so, tell me why they aren't in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.